Chapter 2, Inverse Trigonometric Functions. In class 11th, we have gone through sine function, cosine function, tan function, cotangent function, secant function, and cosecant function. So let us consider the first one. Sine is a function from the set R of real numbers to the closed interval -1, 1. Now, suppose let us take two values from the set R of real numbers. Say x1 equal to 30 degree and x2 equal to 150 degree. Therefore, we will get sine x1 equal to, that is sine 30 degree. The sine 30 is 1 by 2. Then we have sine x2 equal to sine 150 degree, and sine 150 degree is also equal to 1 by 2. Therefore, what we are getting is x1 is not equal to x2, but their images are equal. That means sine is not 1 1. Therefore, but sine x1 is equal to sine x2. Therefore, we can say that sine is not a 1 1 function, is not a 1 1 function. Now, here, but we can see that the minimum value of sine is -1. The minimum value of sine function is -1. Also, the maximum value of sine function is 1. So, it is already here because we are having the codomain as closed interval -1 to 1. And also, the range of the sine function is from closed interval -1 to 1. So, therefore, it is onto. Here, we can say that sine function is onto. Sine function is onto. Why it is onto? Because the codomain is equal to range, because codomain equal to the range. Now f is not 1 1, though it is onto. Therefore, we can say that the inverse of sine function is not possible. Therefore, sine inverse is not possible here. Therefore, sine inverse is not possible. Sine inverse is not possible. So what we will have to do? We will have to restrict this. This is our domain. We have to restrict this domain so that our function is 1 1 and onto. Now let us consider this another case. Sine is a function from, say, let us after restricting, that is restrict from the closed interval -π/2 to π/2, and the codomain will remain the same, -1 to 1. Now it was already onto. Now it is also 1 1, because for every element taken from the domain we will get a different image. So here we can say that clearly now sine is 1 1 and onto. Therefore, we can say that the function sine has inverse. Sine has inverse, and that means therefore we can say that sine inverse will exist. Sine inverse exists, and it will be a function from. Therefore, sine inverse exists, and sine inverse will be the function from. We'll just interchange the codomain and the domain. So from -1 1 to closed interval -π/2 to π/2. So this is our sine inverse function. That is, it is from. Now what is the our now domain is closed interval -1 to 1, and the codomain is from closed interval -π/2 to π/2. Now we know that here we have seen that in the original sine function, here in original sine function, the domain is R. That means it is infinite. The domain is going on. So we can break this R into many parts such that it can be made into 1 1 and onto function, and we get inverse function for that. So here we see that if we restrict the domain, here if you restrict the domain to closed interval minus pi by 2 pi by 2, then it becomes 1 1 on 2. Not only this, if the sine function is restricted to any of the intervals, there should be difference of how much length pi, that is minus 3 pi by 2 to pi by 2, then minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 is already we have taken, and pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2 and so on, then also it will be 1 1 and on 2. The sine inverse is a function whose domain is closed interval minus 1 to 1 and the range could be any of the intervals. So if you replace this one, that is this closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 with closed interval minus 3 pi by 2 to minus pi by 2, or with the other one, that is pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2 closed interval, then also it will still remain a sine inverse function only. And now corresponding to each such interval we get a branch of the function sine inverse. The branch with the range closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, that is this one, this original one, this we say as principal value branch, whereas other intervals, that is if we replace closed interval minus pi by 2 with other branches, like say closed interval minus pi by 2 minus 3 pi by 2 to minus pi by 2, or closed interval pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, then it will be uh, uh, branches of sine inverse. So when we refer to the function sine inverse, we actually mean the function having the domain as closed interval minus 1 to 1 and the range as closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, unless it is otherwise mentioned. So from the definition of the inverse function, now it follows that sine of sine inverse x will be equal to x, and where x will be between minus 1 to 1, including minus 1 and 1, and sine inverse sine x will be equal to x if x belongs to the if x is in the interval of minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, including pi by 2 and pi by 2. So in other words, if y equal to sine inverse x, then sine y will be equal to x. So some remarks are very important that we have to remember. We know that from chapter number 1 that if y equal to fx is an invertible function, then we have inverse of that, that is x equal to f inverse y is possible. Thus the graph of sine inverse function can be easily obtained from the graph of the original sine function. What is our original sine function? This is our sine function. Suppose we plot the graph of this function, and in this if you replace x with y and y with x, then the graph which will be getting, that will be sine inverse graph. So very simple. Thus here this the graph of sine inverse function can be obtained from the graph of the original function by interchanging x and y axis. That is, if AB is a point on the graph of the sine function, then BA becomes the corresponding point on the graph of the inverse function of sine. Thus the graph of the function y equal to sine inverse can be obtained from the graph of y equal to sine x by interchanging x and y axis. The graph of y equal to sine x and y equal to sine inverse x are given in the figure. So here we can see that this is our sine function when sine is having their domain as r and the codomain or the range as minus 1 to 1. In this we can see that it is not 1 1 and is not 1 1 though it is on 2. So that is why we have restricted this function from closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Then it becomes 1 1 on 2. And if now we interchange the x and y, then what we get is this is the inverse function of sine inverse. So it is sine inverse is a function from, here we can see that it is a function from the interval closed interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 with the range as minus 1 to 1. So this is our sine inverse function, and this is the sine function. And here originally we are having the sine function, that is which is 1 1 on 2. Sine is a function from closed interval minus pi by 2 to minus 1 1. So this is the graph of this one, graph of here. And if we take the if in this we take the inverse of this function, we get the graph of the other one. That is simply we have to interchange x and y, so we will get the inverse of sine. Now same concept we can apply in other also. Same way we can get the uh, inverse of cos, that is cos inverse we can get, and we can obtain cosec inverse. Then we can have sec inverse, tan inverse, cot inverse. These all are possible by applying the same concept. So here we have a table So this table shows the inverse trigonometric function with the principal value along with their domains and ranges. So this sine inverse, the domain is closed interval -1 to 1 and the range is closed interval -pi/2 to pi/2. And here we have the function cos inverse, then cosec inverse, sec inverse, tan inverse and cot inverse. So do remember this table because this will be very helpful to you in solving problems based on inverse trigonometric functions. So now let us go in some important notes. So first one is sine inverse x should not be confused with sine x whole inverse. So actually sine inverse x means is our sine function. Here we are having the sine function. So this is the sine function which we are having. If we take the inverse of this, that function is known as sine inverse function. So that is sine inverse is actually the inverse of this. That is our domain. This is the range. If we interchange this, so that means sine inverse will be the function from closed interval -1 1 to the closed interval -pi/2 to pi/2. So this is the sine function. This is inverse. So sine inverse means simply it says that it is the inverse of the sine function with the domain as closed interval -pi/2 to pi/2. So whereas sine x whole inverse means it is 1 by sine x and it is not the inverse of the sine function. So this is to be very clearly understood. Then second point is very important one. Whenever no branch of an inverse trigonometric function is mentioned, we mean the principal value branch of that function. So in if any problem in any inverse trigonometric problem, it is not given that whether uh, it belongs to the principal value branch or not. So it is to be considered from the principal value branch only, unless it is mentioned. So it is very important one that all the trigonometric questions which we will be seeing here, inverse trigonometric functions questions, that will be based on principal value branch only. Then the third one, the value of an inverse trigonometric functions which lies in the range of the principal value branch is called the principal value of that inverse trigonometric function. Question number 1, exercise 2.1. Find the principal values of the following. First one, sine inverse -1/2. So let sine inverse -1/2 equal to say y. Then taking sine function both sides will be getting -half equal to sine y. Now we have to obtain, we have to find that value of y which will belong to the principal value branch, that is from closed interval -pi/2 pi/2 such that we get -half, and we know that sine -pi/6 is -half. Therefore, the value of y will be -pi/6. So that is what we'll write here. Since sine -pi/6 equal to -half, therefore y equal to -pi/6. Also, -pi/6 belongs to the principal value branch, that is closed interval -pi/2 to pi/2. So therefore the correct value will be -pi/6. So that is the value of y. Now let us go in the second one. So second one, cos inverse √3/2. Cos inverse √3/2. Now we know that the range of the principal value branch of cos inverse is close to 0 or to pi. So we know that range of the principal value branch, range of the principal value branch of cos inverse is closed interval 0 to pi. So considering this fact, we'll solve this one. So let cos inverse √3/2 equal to y. Taking cos both sides, we'll be getting √3/2 equal to cos y, and we know that cos pi by 6 is root 3 by 2, so the value of y will be pi by 6. Also pi by 6 belongs to the closed interval 0 to pi, therefore the value of required value will be y equal to pi by 6. So that is what we'll write here. For y equal to pi by 6 belongs to closed interval 0 to pi, we have cos pi by 6 equal to root 3 by 2. Therefore, y equal to pi by 6 is the principal value. So what that will be is the required principal value, is the principal value. So this is our question number 2. Now let us go in the third one. So question number 3 now we'll do third one. In third one, let us take y equal to cosec inverse 2. So solving this one we will get, let us take cosec both sides, will be getting cosec y equal to 2. We know that the range of the principal value branch of cosec inverse is the interval closed interval minus pi by 2 to open interval 0 union open interval 0 to closed interval pi by 2. So this open interval, now we know that the value of cosec pi by 6 is equal to 2. Also cosec pi by 6 is equal to 2, and pi by 6 belongs to this interval, that is pi by 6 belongs to the interval closed interval minus pi by 2 open interval 0 union open interval 0 to close interval pi by 2. Therefore we can say that y equal to, so y will be pi by 6, and therefore pi by 6 is the principal value, which is the principal value. Now let us do question number fourth one. So fourth one, tan inverse minus root 3. So we have to find the principal value for this. We know that the range of the principal value branch, we know that the range of the principal value branch of tan inverse is the open interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So let us take tan inverse minus root 3 equal to y. Let tan inverse minus root 3 equal to y. Therefore, we will get tan y equal to minus root 3, and we know that the value of tan minus pi by 3 is equal to minus root 3. Since tan minus pi by 3 is equal to minus root 3, also minus pi by 3 belongs to the interval open interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So we can say that therefore y equal to minus pi by 3 Therefore, y equal to minus pi by 3 will be the principal value. So, will be the required principal value, will be the required principal value, will be the required principal value, principal value. So, this is our fourth one. Now, let us go in fifth one. Question number 5. So, fifth one we are having cos inverse minus 1 by 2. Cos inverse minus 1 by 2. So, for this we know that what the range of the principal value branch, range of principal value branch, range of principal value branch is the closed interval 0 to pi. Now, we are having cos inverse minus half. Let it be say y. So, we'll be getting cos y equal to minus half, and we know that the value of cos pi by 3 is half. Well, we know that cos pi by 3 is half. Cos pi by 3 is half. Cos pi by 3 equal to half. Also, we know that cos pi minus theta equal to cos pi minus theta is minus cos theta. So, therefore, we can write say cos pi minus pi by 3 will be equal to cos pi minus pi by 3 equal to minus cos pi by 3, and if we simplify it, we will be getting cos pi minus pi by 3, that is cos 2 pi by 3. Cos 2 pi by 3 is equal to minus cos pi by 3, that is minus half. Therefore, if we take theta as if we take y as if we take y as 2 pi by 3, then that will be our principal value branch. Therefore, y equal to 2 pi by 3 is the required principal value, is the required principal value, is the required principal value, principal value, because principal value, as cos 2 pi by 3 is minus half, as cos 2 pi by 3 equal to minus half, also 2 pi by 3 belongs to the range closed interval 0 to pi. So, we can say that this is the principal value. Now, let us go in sixth one. Question number 6. Question number 6. Tan inverse minus 1. For tan inverse minus 1, we know the range of the principal value branch, range of the principal value branch, range of the principal value branch of tan inverse is open interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, and also we know that so let tan inverse minus 1 equal to say y. So, we will be getting minus 1 equal to tan y, and we know that tan minus pi by 4 is equal to minus 1, and also minus pi by 4 belongs to the to this interval. So, that means y equal to minus pi by 4 is the required answer. So, solving this implies minus 1 equal to tan minus pi by 4. Also, minus pi by 4 belongs to the interval, open interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Therefore, we can say that y equal to minus pi by 4 is the required principal value, is the required principal value, is the required principal value, principal value. Now, this sixth one is also over, and this 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th, that will be for self trial, 9th and 10th self trial. Now, let us go in question number 11th one. Question number 11, we are having tan inverse 1 plus cos inverse minus 1 by 2 and plus sine inverse minus 1 by 2. We have to find the combined value of all the three. So what we have to do is find individually. First we'll find the value of tan inverse 1. So tan inverse 1 will be pi by 4. That you have to try on your own. Try on your own. Because we know that proper way you have to write, we know that 10 pi by 4 is 1, so 10 inverse 1 will be pi by 4. But we have to solve it and show it. Similarly, we have already obtained here. Here we have obtained cos inverse minus half, that was 2 pi by 3. So cos inverse minus half equal to 2 pi by 3. From where? From fifth. That also you have to solve. From fifth one, but you have to solve it, to be solved. So fifth, you have to do it again to be solved again. Now let us go in the next one, that is sine inverse. So this fifth part you have to solve again, to be solved again. Now let us go in this part, that is we are having here sine inverse minus half, sine inverse minus half, and we know that sine inverse minus half is equal to, that will be minus pi by 6, because sine minus pi by 6 is minus half. So this also to be solved and shown, to be solved and shown. So individually you have to solve it, like question number 1 to 10 to be solved, and then we have to add them. So just putting the values, therefore what we'll get, therefore tan inverse 1 plus cos inverse minus half plus sine inverse minus half, that will be equal to tan inverse 1 we have obtained, that is pi by 4, then cos inverse minus half, that was plus 2 pi by 3, and sin inverse minus half, that is minus pi by 6. And here we are having denominator 4, 3 and 6. Denominator LCM will be 12. So equal to 12. So this will become 3 pi, and this will become plus 4 into 2, 8 pi, and this will become minus 2 pi. So minus 2 pi. So this will become equal to 9, 10, 11. 11 minus 2, that is 9 pi by 12. 9 pi by 12, and on simplification this will become equal to 3 pi by 4. So this will be the answer of question number 11th one. Question number 14. Tan inverse root 3 minus sec inverse minus 2 is equal to. So we have to find the value of this one. First we will find the value of tan inverse root 3. Question number 14th one. Tan inverse root 3. We find the value of this. We know that the range of tan inverse in principal value branch, tan inverse in principal value branch is open interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. And let us take therefore let us take tan inverse root 3, say y, tan inverse root 3 equal to y. This will give us tan y equal to root 3, and we know that the value of tan pi by 3 is root 3. Also tan y also tan pi by 3 equal to root 3, and pi by 3 belongs to the open interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So that means uh, pi by 3 will be the principal value. Therefore pi by 3 is the principal value. Therefore pi by 3 is the principal value. Therefore we can say that tan inverse root 3, that is equal to y, will be equal to, therefore tan inverse root 3 will be equal to pi by 3. Now next let us find the value of sec inverse minus 2. We will find the value of sec inverse minus 2 equal to. So first of all we will write down the range. range of sec inverse, range of sec inverse for the principal value branch, for the principal value branch, for the principal value branch is equal to close interval 0 to pi minus pi by 2, singleton set pi by 2. Now, so let us take sec inverse minus 2 as say y. Let sec inverse minus 2 say equal to let us say z. Therefore, we'll get minus 2 equal to sec z, and this we can write as minus 2 equal to, we know that we from study of our class 11th, we know that sec pi minus z is equal to minus sec z. So we can write this as minus 2 equal to sec z we are having, that we can write as 2 equal to minus sec z, or we can write it as 2 equal to sec pi minus z. Also we know that the value of sec pi by 3 is equal to 2. Therefore, we can say that in place of 2 we can write pi by 3. Pi by 3 equal to pi minus z. So this will give us, therefore, z equal to pi minus pi by 3. So this will give us z equal to 2 pi by 3. Therefore, z equal to 2 pi by 3, and it belongs to the interval, close interval 0 to pi minus pi by 2. Therefore, we can say that this z is the principal value. Z is principal value, and therefore we can say that the value of sec inverse minus 2, therefore sec inverse minus 2 will be equal to 2 pi by 3. Therefore tan inverse root 3 minus sec inverse minus 2 will be equal to tan inverse root 3 already we have obtained, that is pi by 3, and minus this is value of sec inverse minus 2 is 2 pi by 3. So solving this one will get, because the denominator same, will get pi minus 2 pi, that is minus pi and minus pi by 3. Therefore the correct option will be B. Therefore correct option is B. So this is the correct option.